Salutations, second graders, and welcome to Math Lesson 14 on our mobile learning platform. Boys and girls, we're moving into Chapter 10 today. That's fractions. So you should have your math packet in front of you. And it should look like this. Okay, so here we are, friends. And it says, Chapter 10, Fractions. A river watering the garden flowed from Eden. From there it was separated into 4 headwaters, and that's from Genesis 2, verse 10. So, boys and girls, the water was separated into 4 headwaters. It was divided. So if you divide something into 4s, then you have quarters, right? We kind of talked about that a little bit throughout the year. The key ideas that we need to pay attention to in dealing with our fractions are the place value. We're going to learn to compare fractions. We're going to be reading, writing, and drawing fractions and mixed numbers. Now, we've talked about those this year so far too. We just haven't gone in depth. Okay, and then we're going to form equivalent fractions. And when we're all done, we'll also know how to add and subtract them. Okay, buddies, let's pay attention while we talk a little bit about vocabulary for this chapter. Read along with me as I read. A fraction is a number that names part of a whole or part of a set. Okay, so a fraction is a number that names part of a whole or part of a set. Then in a fraction, friends, we have 2 different parts. We have the denominator. And the denominator is the bottom number in a fraction that shows the total number of parts in a whole. Mrs. Mueller, what? We're going to talk about it. Don't worry, but I just want you to know that the denominator in a fraction is the bottom number, and it shows the total number of parts in a whole. Okay? So a numerator is the top number in the fraction, and it shows the number of equal parts being separated. So far, friends, we've learned that a fraction is a number that names part of a whole or part of a set. A denominator is the bottom number in a fraction, and it shows the total number of parts in a whole. And the numerator is the top number in the fraction that shows the number of equal parts being separated. Okay, we have our worksheet, and we're going to get to that in a minute. And let me show you right here. Let's read it together, and then we're going to go ahead and you're going to look at, I'm going to show you a little trick with a piece of paper. Okay, but first let's read. Fractions can be used to name numbers less than 1. Fractions name equal parts of a whole. So friends, look, here I have a whole piece of paper. Okay, I have a whole piece of paper. If I fold it like this and I were to cut it here, I would have half of my paper, right? I would have 1/2 or 1 out of the 2 pieces. I'm not sure if you can see my half. I'll write it darker for tomorrow. Okay, then if I take my half and I were to fold it again, I would have 1/4 of the whole piece of paper that I started with. So I started with a whole, I folded it in half, so I had a half, then I took that half and I folded it in half and I got 1/4. And then if you fold that in half again, you end up with 1/8 or an 1/8 piece of the whole paper. Friends, if we were in class, we would do this so that you would have it on your desk as a reference. So if you want to fold a piece of paper at home that gives you all of the pieces, you can, and we can label them tomorrow together. Okay? And I'll label mine with a permanent marker tomorrow when we go over it. All right, so what I just did with my paper is kind of like what they did here in the square, but they actually did it a little different because they didn't just show you a whole, a half, a quarter, and an eighth, they also showed you a third and a sixth, which is another way to split your whole, right? You can split it into many, many different pieces. So let's take a look. As we already went over in our precursor, we said the denominator is the number written below the line in a fraction. Okay, the denominator is the total number of equal parts in one whole. So it's talking, friends, we're right here on the paper, and we're looking at this little square. The denominator is the 2. It's saying we're talking about 2 parts, okay? Remember, denominator starts with a D, and so does down. If that helps you remember that the denominator is the number that's down from the fraction bar. The numerator is the number written above the line. The numerator is the number of equal parts being separated, right? So we're talking about 1 out of 2, or 1/2 of the square is pink, okay? So now we have to fill in the missing numerator or denominator of the fraction for the colored parts. So we're filling in the missing number. So let's see, friends, how many parts are we talking about in number 1? How many parts are being talked about there? Emma, can you tell me? Okay, we're talking about 4 parts, right? And 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4 are pink. 1 out of 4 is pink. Very good, because it has 4 parts. So we're actually saying 1/4, and we all know, friends, that 1/4 is another way to say 1/4 or a quarter, right? Good job. Okay, how many, if we're looking at number 2, are pink? Can you tell me, please, Tino? 2 out of 3, right? 2 out of 3 are pink. Good. And then in our next square, I have a total of how many, Kylie? A total of 8 pieces. That's why the denominator is 8. And how many are pink, Valentina? Very good. 3 out of 8, or 3/8 is pink. Very good. Turn your paper over. We are going to match the fraction name to the colored part of the model, okay? So we're going to take a look, and we're going to try our best, and we're going to match them up. Friends, I'm going to go ahead and do this with you today. It should kind of be review, but I want to make sure that we all do our very best. So stay with me and let's work together. All right. I think, let me see. Let's see if I can move myself here. Maybe over here, I'll be out of the way. Okay, let's see. Please work. Okay, friends, sorry we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Stay with me for just another minute. And if it doesn't work, then we'll have to figure something else out that we can do. There we go. Okay, let's try it. Ready? I am looking for 1/4. Can you find me 1 over here with numbers 4 through 7 that are 1/4? Where would I make that match up? Quincy. That's right. This one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is my bottom number. It's the denominator. And we're talking about 1 out of 4, so that's 1/4. Good job. All right, next one, I need to find 3/6. How would I find 3/6? Lola. Good. You're right, straight across. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. So I know that's the denominator. And how many are colored in? 1, 2, 3. 3/6. Excellent. Then I need to look for 1/3. Where is that one going to be, Giovanni? At the top. Good work. And then we're going to look for 3/8. It has to be this one. And if I'm not sure, I can check it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put that on the bottom. And 3 of those are colored in. Excellent job, friends. Okay, let's look. I'm going to let you do numbers 8, 9, and 10 and 11, and I will check those at a later date. Let's move on. We're going to shade the number to show each fraction. Friends, if you're going to show me 1 out of 3 or 1/3 that's colored, what am I going to color? Max. Just 1. Very good. So I'm going to color this one. Okay. You can use your pencil. It doesn't have to be in color. Okay, then I have 5/8. Well, how many am I going to color? Adeline. Color 5. Very good. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I need to color 1 more, right? Okay, good job. Then we're going to color 2/6. 2 out of 6. Where am I going to color those at? Quincy. 2. Just 2. 2 squares out of 6 squares are colored. Good. And then I need to show 3/8. Guys, I'm going to let you color 3 out of 8 and 3 out of 4, or 3/8 and 3/4. And now, friends, we're going to multiply. Now, this is a skill that's a little bit difficult. I'm going to do every other one with you, and then we're going to be done for the day. So stay tuned and let's work on these together. Remember, when we multiply, we're going to multiply first the ones, and then we're going to multiply the bottom by the tens, okay? So that's how we multiply, and that will give us our answers. So we have 4 times 2 is 8, and 2 times 2 is 4. Excellent job. Moving on, we're going to go 5 times, remember, we go up and down, and then we go diagonally. Okay, so we're going to go 5 times 5 is 25. Put the 5 down, regroup that 2. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 2. Don't forget to add the 2 in. We have 22. 225 is our answer. Second graders, doing okay? Let's keep going. I have 4 times 7 is 28. Put the 8 down, regroup the 2. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 2 is 8, 9. And 7 times 3 is 21. Good job. Okay, let's move down to the bottom row. And we're going to go this way, straight up and down, and then all the other numbers that are in the problem have to multiply by 2 as well. Okay, so we first go up and down, and then we go diagonally until everything has been multiplied. So we have 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. Don't forget to keep your columns straight. It'll help us know what our answers are, and it'll also help us find out where we made mistakes if we made mistakes, okay? So let's continue. I have 8 times 4 is, 8 times 6, sorry guys, I misspoke. 8 times 6 is 48. Put the 8 down, regroup the 4. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 4 is 46. Put down the 6, regroup the 4. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. 6 times 4 is 24. How do you feel, second graders? Very good. Okay, one more together. And then if you want, you can work on the other ones on your own. I'm not going to assign them to you. I'd rather you go on IXL, finish your P and Q, and then I want you to go ahead and have a beautiful day. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 8 times 2 is 16. Put down the 6. Regroup the 1. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 1 is 15. 15,642. That's it, second graders. Go ahead and finish it up if you want. Don't forget to finish the rest of the page. You still have to do 15 and 16 as well as 8 through 11. That's only a little bit more. It's about 6 problems. I think you can do it no problem. Have a beautiful day, second graders. Do your best. Thank you.